religion should come with a health
let's
warning.
understand.
يا ديمة خير وعطاء ويمام نقاء وسخاء يا نجما شع فأبهجنا يا شعلة نور وضاء.
A mirror of a Taoist society. So I really looked into it. Now I don't say I know everything, but as far as I can see, I can't see anything miraculous in it.
So the example.
So what I'm saying is that even somebody who, like me, who studied it for so long, even I can't see this miracle. How do you expect anyone else to? And like I say, what you're asking them to do is to take it on word, just like any other religion says, take it on word that I've been filled with the Holy Spirit or this whatever. They can't actually verify it for themselves.
Not really.
Unless they study for 50 years.
If they want to study, if someone wants to study, if people want to study, they can study themselves. But we don't expect everyone to take it on their own self. But if they don't come to that conclusion after 50 years, they need to study more, I assume. No. Let's take one principle. We accept valid testimony in every aspect of life. Valid testimony. So if we trust someone with knowledge, with revelation, we accept the testimony. So people can do that with prophets and messengers. People can accept that. Yeah. So I want to return to this challenge which you have, because you said you studied classical Arabic and you've translated 1/3 of Zamakhshari's tafsir. Interesting. The thesis that I am about to present to you is an objective study of the miracle, linguistic miracle of the Quran. This is not subjective where it's about eloquence. It's now objective assessment of it. This book I recommend, and perhaps we can, once you've read this book, we can have a discussion further. So it goes into saying every chapter of the Quran, it has more rhetorical features or linguistic innovations. Tajdeed, اللغوي.
I've seen these,
Have you read this book?
Whether they have qiyas, whether they have all these different types.
Have you read this book?
I haven't read this particular.
This is a unique, objective assessment. This is something that you have to study, and then we can have a discussion. But I want to make some.
Give me a second. Let me just ask him one question. On what he's saying, you studied it. Do you go along with what he's saying?
I think the Quran is a very unique book. I think some parts of it are really very, very moving. Some parts are not so moving. I don't find them moving.
How did you lose your faith then?
It was actually not because of the linguistic thing. It was more like ideas like eternal hell. Things like in the verse which allows a man to hit his wife. I can't believe that God, merciful God, would say that. I can't believe that God would torture people. I think we've talked about this before. Torture people over and over again. كلما نضجت جلودهم بدلناهم بجلود غيرها ليذوقوا العذاب. It's all very cruel and sadistic, and I can't believe that.
So let's take some of the points you mentioned.
How can a God be Arhamar Rahimin, most merciful of the merciful, and do this?
Just as well. Al-Adl.
Yeah,
so
this is not justice. This is excessive.
Let's understand a few things. I mean,
justice is proportionate. This is disproportionate.
I wrote a whole Facebook entry on the issues of.
I don't believe in the Bible.
Do you mind if I just discuss some of the issues that he's raised on this issue?
Well, just because we're going to.
But I want to address these points, if you don't mind.
No, I get that. But
what's your name, by the way? I forgot your name.
My name is Mansur.
Mansur.
But,
you know my name, Hassan, yeah?
Yeah, Hassan. Hassan. Victor is what you discussed with on Facebook. Victor?
I discussed with Hashim.
No, Victor, Facebook profile.
Oh, right.
I wrote a whole.
Are you Victor?
Yes.
Okay.
Mansur, Victor.
Oh, okay,
right?
Okay, I got you.
This is just my translation of my name, right?
Yeah.
I wrote a whole Facebook entry on the issues of 434 wife beating, and I expected you to actually respond, because when I looked at your story about how you lost your faith, you mentioned one of them being, so-called wife beating. And I went through analysis psychologically, socially, educationally, and I didn't see any response. Perhaps now we can actually discuss this, the contents that I actually discussed this.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So this is one thing. The other thing is about eternal hellfire and suffering. What we often miss is that we believe God is not only merciful, but He's also just. So these are His attributes. People consider, the cruelty from the aspect of mercy, but they don't realize there is an aspect of justice which needs to be accounted for. So imagine a person who defies by their own self and wants to go against God's messages, having known that they're not supposed to follow a path which will lead to a path of punishment, and they keep on following this path. If they are punished, we're not talking about eternal punishment yet. If they are punished, that punishment is deserving of them or not?
I'm sorry,
if an individual is told that this is how you're supposed to live your life by God, okay? And gives you all the means to actually go about living this life, showing you the ways, telling you not to follow the footsteps of the evil ones and so on. And if you do follow those footsteps, it will lead you to a place of punishment. And if that person defies and say, so what? Let it be, whatever. And the person goes to hellfire of punishment, is that person not deserving of the punishment? Or you say not undeserving of?
Well, obviously God, if he is all-powerful and omnipotent and omniscient, then he can do what he likes.
Justice-wise.
He can do what he likes.
Justice-wise.
But I'm not sure that actually sounds reasonable to me.
Justice-wise.
Yeah, I'm not sure that sounds like justice.
If I
think it's an unreasonable.
Okay, let me give you a similar example. You work for my company.
Yeah.
So you expect some benefit at the end of the day. You expect some salaries to be paid to you, weekly, monthly, or whatever, right? And what if now I tell you, like, I expect certain conduct from you. I don't want to give away the secrets of my company to someone else. I don't want you to be lazy and not doing the work, and then the whole company collapses because of your laziness. Or I don't want you to do something totally against what you're supposed to do. You press a button and then what is it? You're actually working for a nuclear plant, and you're supposed to look after it well, and you press the button and then there's a nuclear bomb goes on. You're being very irresponsible. So I'm saying there are consequences
so you
attached.
should sack me.
No.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is you will be punished for your misbehavior.
In this example, I should be
So if punished. So if I punish you, would you say this is unreasonable?
It depends what the punishment is.
Yeah. So punishment by itself is not something that is unreasonable. It's the degree of punishment or the category of punishment you'll be questioning. So one thing we established, that punishment for a non-compliance of something is not necessarily unreasonable, not necessarily unjust. In fact, justice.
I'm not against punishment.
Good.
I mean, if people murder, kill, and so on, obviously they need to be
Fair
punished.
Fair enough, Ustad Hassan.
But I mean, when it comes to following a religion which you're not sure, whether 100% it's actually true or not, I don't see why somebody should be punished for not believing it.
Sure. So let's go back to the issue of. So in general, punishing for someone for their crimes or sins and so on, it's not unreasonable, unjust. So the question now is punishing someone in hellfire in a way that you think is cruel, right?
Yeah, for firstly, not believing in a religion which is not, undeniable, irrefutable, or they are not convinced by it. I mean, I'm simply not convinced by Islam. There's lots of people who are simply not convinced by Islam. I'm not evil, I'm not nasty, I don't go around killing, I don't go around raping, but I just don't believe it. And I've had it presented to me. And I'm not against Islam. My family are Muslims, and I think it's a good way of life.
Yeah.
I think it's a good way of life. And if you follow Islam, good luck. And it's I'm sure you'll be a good person, because most Muslims are.
Yeah.
But I don't believe it.
Yeah. The message of Islam is clear. The message of Islam is clear. The proof of Islam is clear too. So these two claims I've made.
Well, this is what I dispute.
Okay, let me finish my point.
Yeah.
The message of Islam is clear, so is the proof. I want to give you an analogy. How people don't often somehow are in line with these 2 points. People smoke? Many people smoke.
Unfortunately,
What does this cigarette pack say? Smoking kills. Smoking causes lung cancer.
I think religion should come with a health warning.
Let's understand that religion comes with a health warning. It tells you if you don't do this, you'll end up in hellfire. So the warning is there.
Yeah.
So when you have people smoking and constantly smoking, knowing the message is there, that is bad for you, it's going to kill you, it's going to cause you lung cancer, what's happening is this: it's not that the message is not clear, it's not that the message is not understood evidently, it's something else. People who decide against the clear message, against the evident message, because the evidence is clear of now. I work in a hospital. I know very clearly there's a correlation, clear link between smoking and lung cancer. We've established that now for a long time. It's not just a arbitrary correlation. It's a very established correlation. So the message is clear: do not smoke. It's going to cause you harm, and it's evident itself that it's going to cause you harm. But people still smoke. Why people smoke? It is not. This is my argument. It is not because the message is not clear in the cigarette pack, or the evidence is not clear. I want to link this with the message of Islam. It is not that Islam is not clear in its message, or the evidence for Islam to be true is not clear. That's not what they're missing. is something else other than that. And this is what we discussed.
What is it?
This is a lot of things. Personal problems, emotional problems, confusions, desires, fame, arrogance, stubbornness.
They need to be punished for that?
Wait. You asked me, Ustad Hassan, you asked me for examples. These examples can be deciphered or actually extracted from people's behavior. Some people are simply confused. It's because
it's getting broken, and you're doing all the talking, and not anybody else is doing
the nature of the discussion is such that it needs explaining in detail. So if you find
stay too long,
we can talk again another time. But so what I want to say on this issue, let's return to the issue about so-called wife beating, right? Which was one of your profound reasons of actually saying that cannot be from God. Now in Islam, simple, you can't beat your wives. Khalas, it's finished. So what are we talking about? We're talking about disciplining a disobedient wife in a marital relationship.
No, I realize.
Right. But people, I want to make it first clear that it's not about you can just beat your wife. It's absolutely forbidden.
It's the third step, and hopefully they won't ever get to that step. And the Prophet ﷺ never hit his wife, so we should follow his example and so on.
Let's look at
but why
it
not
from
just
an
ban it?
let's look at it now. What is the best solution in terms of marital discord? Because we are talking about
the first two examples are good. فَعِذُوهُنَّ. Speak to them. Talk to them, discuss, go to counseling.
وَاهْجُرُوهُنَّ فِي الْمَضَاجِعِ وَاضْرِبُوهُنَّ.
Try trial separation.
Yeah.
Just stop there. Why وَاضْرِبُوهُنَّ? Why?
I'll tell you why. From what I understand is this. So when Allah deals with human beings, He is the creator of human beings. He knows the psyche of human beings. He knows how they behave. He knows how they operate. He knows how it clicks for them to reform. We're talking about reforming an individual who is creating a marital discord in a marriage, an institution.
Mansur, do you know how many times I've heard these
No.
I'm 59 years
old. Listen, Hassan.
You've got the special one. Yeah,
No, it's not a special one. I would like you to really go step by step. As an educationist, myself and yourself, you are in a school. Yep. I also teach people. Educational methodology is this. When you have a reform needed, when you have something that you want to change, there are several steps you should take as an educationalist. You want to make clear to people, first of all, to clear their confusions, right? You want to warn them, tell them that this is what you're supposed to do, this is what you're not supposed to do. You have to make things clear. So this information step is essential first. Yep? Do you agree as an education? If you want to say smoking kills, you have to tell people smoking kills. Education aspect, information aspect is very important first. Secondly, you have to also deal with people who may not deal with information, like those cigarette smokers who know it says kills, who knows and understand that it will cause cancer, but they'll still do it. How do you deal with these people?
So the hit them is for the bad Muslims?
No, you're jumping the gun. We have to understand from an educational perspective. The Quran starts with saying, look, as a believing woman, you're supposed to be qaniteen, totally obedient to Allah.
Qanitat.
As a woman, of course, qanitat, but qanitat, salihat, right? Hafizat. You have to be really someone who obeys Allah and respects the marital institution. Because at the end of the day, what happens if it doesn't get resolved? Divorce or total submission in a family where he beats the wife black and blue and there's no escape from this bondage, like in Christianity, for example, right? Because you cannot.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I've got to go as well.
Can I make this free, or perhaps
Mansur, God bless you. Thank you very much for speaking.
So, Hassan, Ustad Hassan, if you go back to your Facebook page on this issue, I've detailed that, and when we come back again, I can go through in details where those specific steps are necessary, because at the final step, God doesn't say, that's it. He says what? If you cannot do, bring your arbitrators so you can do, a settlement of divorce. Yeah? Anyway.
Inshallah, take care.
Take care. You take care. Say he's a doubting Muslim. This is how he would label himself. Okay. Yes.
كتاب الله دستوري، كتاب الله دستوري، وخير الخلق أسوتنا.
بسنته